What's Kuneo?
Kuneo is a diverse, very diverse worship setting where we all come together, people from all walks of life, all different backgrounds. We come together and we meet in a coffee shop, and there are people who are doing their own little things, studying or whatever, but there's this community that's there within the center of it. I think it's the community that drives Union Coffee Shop, actually. It's just a community where we come together and we worship and we discuss and we challenge each other and we grow together and we learn together. And sometimes we feel like we want to, sometimes we walk away and we have like negative opinions and we have negative thoughts and we have negative outlooks on what we just talked about. But at the same time, there's so much beauty within Kuneo, and there's so much beauty within the conversations that happen within Kuneo. And I've been so blessed and so honored and privileged, actually, to be able to be a part of that story, to be a part of that chapter, and to be a part of that growth in that community.
Mm-hmm. How does Kuneo and the way that Kuneo does worship different from the preconceived notions about church that you brought in with you when you started coming to Kuneo?
Well, actually, I have come from a completely different background as far as the church. I grew up Catholic for a little bit, and then I was Baptist for a long time. And I guess technically I still am, but when I went off to college, that's when I was introduced to the Methodist Church, and that's when I was introduced to Methodism as a whole, and it completely shook my world, and it completely reshaped the way that I viewed the church, because before I was coming from this church where not just youth, but women were also, like, they were objects, and they were meant to be seen and not heard, and they were meant to just take care of the kitchen and the children, they were meant to take care of the things behind the scenes. But it wasn't until not just I started getting involved in the Methodist Church, but when I started coming to Kuneo, that I realized that not just women but Christians have such a bigger part and such a bigger responsibility and such a call to answer to. And Kuneo's it's awakened that fire within me that's kind of been awkwardly asleep for a while, and it's kind of been, well, maybe this is what you want to do, maybe this is how you should feel, but Kuneo just kind of solidifies where I want to see the church, and it solidifies where I see the kingdom and what the kingdom should look like, and it solidifies what we as a church need to stand up and try to work together towards as a goal.
Mm-hmm. And then if someone came up and asked you what Kuneo is, you tell them the facts, A, B, C, D, this is what it is, but they said, no, tell me what Kuneo is. What would be a story, an anecdote, a memory, a sermon, a part of it that epitomizes Kuneo for you, that makes it real and would put that person into what Kuneo is to you?
I think it's probably one of my favorite, most cherished memories to date for Kuneo. I was really kind of in a spiritual, I guess, not paradox, but I was just kind of in this spiritual, just black hole where I felt numb. I didn't feel like I belonged anywhere. I didn't feel like I knew where I wanted to go. I just felt just lost. And I went to Kuneo one night because I hadn't gone in a couple weeks, and I went, and we always start off Kuneo with singing Home. And it was just something about the way that they sung Home that night. And there was just something about how everyone just came together and the voices just blended. But just when they sing the line, "No, you're not alone, I'm going to make this place your home," that to me, it almost like brought tears to my eyes because I was so moved by it, because it was something that just kind of awakened that lostness that was within me. And it was something that kind of reminded me, like, hey, like, you're not alone, you're not lost. You have this community, you have a God who is there for you. And it was just such a refreshing memory for me, and it was such a refreshing moment for me. And it was such a needed moment, and I will say forever changed by that moment.